Ladies and gentlemen, it's official. The US media has mortgaged its independence to Trump, or shall I say, Israel. This is evident after the bombshell disclosure by CBS News on the resignation of its senior editor, Bill Owens. Let's first watch this short broadcast by 60 Minute Show on CBS. This is earth shattering. Listen to what the CBS itself is saying about its own leadership and its dirty nexus with the Trump administration to help Israel.
In tonight's Last Minute, a note on Bill Owens, who until this past week was executive producer of 60 Minutes. He was our boss. Bill was with CBS News nearly 40 years, 26 years at 60 Minutes. He covered the world, covered combat, the White House. His was a quest to open minds, not close them. If you've ever worked hard for a boss because you admired him, then you understand what we've enjoyed here. Bill resigned Tuesday. It was hard on him and hard on us, but he did it for us and you. Stories we pursued for 57 years are often controversial. Lately, the Israel-Gaza war and the Trump administration. Bill made sure they were accurate and fair. He was tough that way. But our parent company, Paramount, is trying to complete a merger. The Trump administration must approve it. Paramount began to supervise our content in new ways. None of our stories has been blocked, but Bill felt he lost the independence that honest journalism requires. No one here is happy about it, but in resigning, Bill proved one thing. He was the right person to lead 60 Minutes all along. I'm Scott Pelley. We'll be back next week with another edition of 60 Minutes.
Bill Owens had written to his staff about the reason why he had resigned. He wrote, and I quote, "Over the past months, it has also become clear that I would not be allowed to run the show as I have always run it, to make independent decisions based on what was right for 60 Minutes, right for the audience. So, having defended this show and what we stand for from every angle over time, with everything I could, I'm stepping aside so the show can move forward." End quote. If you remember, not too long ago, just before Trump entered the White House for the second time, he had sued CBS's parent company, Paramount, in his personal capacity. Essentially, Trump had accused the network of broadcasting two different versions of an answer that Kamala Harris had given about Israel and Gaza, one on Face the Nation and the other on 60 Minutes. He had demanded the network release the transcript of the raw interview, which it ultimately did this year after Trump became the president for the second term. Trump had also accused the CBS of being out of control.
Trump says CBS should lose its broadcasting license, lashing out after 60 Minutes aired segments on Ukraine and Greenland over the weekend. In a post on Truth Social, he writes, quote, "CBS is out of control at levels never seen before, and they should pay a big price for this." Trump is already seeking $20 billion from 60 Minutes in a lawsuit over an interview with Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris last fall. He claims it was edited to make Harris look good, which CBS denies.
Apparently, CBS News' parent company, Paramount, and its controlling owner, Shari Redstone, are seeking the approval of federal regulators to sell it to the son of Oracle founder Larry Ellison for a whopping $8 billion. The billionaire software mogul is a friend of Donald Trump, who visited the president at the White House earlier this year. Now, crucially, this merger requires the approval of Trump. Now you can join the dots. Besides, Redstone is also a known Zionist and has been vocal about her support for Israel's genocidal campaign in Gaza. Considered to be one of the most powerful individuals in Hollywood, Redstone had backed the CBS Mornings co-host Tony Dokopil after Paramount Global's news division leadership admonished him for giving grief to an award-winning author who had appeared on the network to discuss his new book examining the Gaza conflict. Doko Pill was incredibly harsh and aggressive during the interview, accusing author Ta-Nehisi Coates of not projecting Israel favorably in his book, The Message. Here's one clip from that infamous interview.
Our next guest is the acclaimed New York Times best-selling author Ta-Nehisi Coates. His new book, The Message, is a trio of interconnected essays that examine how the stories we tell or avoid telling can shape and even distort our reality. In the book, Coates reflects on his emotional first trip to Africa to visit Dakar, Senegal. Then he takes readers to Columbia, South Carolina, where he reports on the attempted banning of one of his books on race. And finally, Coates travels to the Middle East to witness the Israeli-Palestinian conflict firsthand. Ta-Nehisi Coates, good morning. How are you doing?
Thanks for having me. Good morning, guys.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. You say that this book is written specifically for writers, stating that the task for young writers should be nothing less than changing the world. Why do you feel like writers should bear that responsibility?
Saving the world. Saving the world. Just to be really specific. Writing is how we interpret so much of everything that is around us. The Message is a political book. It argues that much of our politics actually happens before we walk into a voting booth, that our choices around us, that who we believe is human, who we don't believe is human, what policies we believe should be in the world, which policies we don't, are actually shaped largely by writing and the stories we tell. And so I believe that writers, and particularly young writers, have so much to do in the politics and in this time when, obviously we have so much conflict and there's so many quote-unquote issues to be dealt with.
Ta-Nehisi, I want to dive into the Israel-Palestine section of the book. It's the largest section of the book. And I have to say, when I read the book, I imagine if I took your name out of it, took away the awards and the acclaim, took the cover off the book, the publishing house goes away, the content of that section would not be out of place in the backpack of an extremist. And so then I found myself wondering, why does Ta-Nehisi Coates, who I've known for a long time, read his work for a long time, very talented, smart guy, leave out so much? Why leave out that Israel is surrounded by countries that want to eliminate it? Why leave out that Israel deals with terror groups that want to eliminate it? Why not detail anything of the first and the second intifada, the cafe bombings, the bus bombings, the little kids blown to bits? And is it because you just don't believe that Israel, in any condition, has a right to exist?
Red Stone had come to Dokopil's rescue by declaring that the CBS management was wrong and they had made mistakes in admonishing the anchor. Now the question is, would you still call the US a country which promotes free speech under Donald Trump? You would see such rampant corrupt practices in countries like India, where I come from, where media personnel are known to crawl before the BJP government, led by Narendra Modi. But the US claims to have the First Amendment, which many countries around the world don't claim. And yet, you have a situation like this, where a veteran journalist is forced to resign just because the current president doesn't like his honest journalism on Israel. Still need more evidence on who actually controls the US. So now, under Trump, judges are being arrested for not falling in line with the current administration, and honest reporters are being hounded out for not towing the Israeli agenda. This is the new America for you. That's it from me. Thank you very much for your support of this platform and our journalism on buymeacoffee.com and Patreon. If you too think that our journalism is worth supporting, then you too should consider becoming part of it. Details are there in the description of this video. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.